Hello, my friends. I can't wait to find out how Mr. Penguin is going to get that treasure back. So let's read chapter 18 of Mr. Penguin and the Lost Treasure. Chapter 18, Mr. Penguin Has a Plan. What a silly, silly, silly penguin I've been, Mr. Penguin groaned, flopping down onto the floor. How did I not see all this before? I was too excited for our first adventuring case that I never thought for a minute that we could be tricked. Now I've lost the treasure and put everyone in danger. Goodness knows where the real Miss Bones is. He covered his face with his hat and groaned again. Meanwhile, Edith was thinking aloud. I think those O'Houlihan boys will still be trekking through this jungle. It'll be hard going with 2 heavy treasure chests to carry. We can still catch them, but we better get cracking now. Mr. Penguin didn't move. He was too fed up. Come on now, Mr. Penguin, said Edith firmly. This isn't at all how a real adventurer would behave. There's still a chance for you to save the day. Mr. Penguin thought about it. He supposed that was true. In his favorite book, there was always a way for the adventurer to save the day. He didn't give up just because he was being shot at with poisoned arrows or about to be thrown into a shark tank. He fought on and kept going, and that was just what Mr. Penguin was going to do. He leapt to his feet, put his hat back on, straightened his bow tie, and grabbed the map out of his satchel. The O'Houlihans had been too silly to think of stealing that, he thought with a grin. But then his heart began to sink again. The tunnel back up to the museum is a really long way from here along the path. We'll never catch up with the thieves that way. Mr. Penguin scanned the map again. The river ran in great wiggly loops all around the underground jungle, coming up very close to where he had found the treasure map in the first place, just by the tunnel that led up to the museum. If only we had a boat, he said, rubbing his beak thoughtfully. We could sail down the river and be back to that tunnel in a few minutes. We might even beat the O'Houlihan brothers to it. But we don't have a boat, Colin's pad read. This was true, but Mr. Penguin had a little itch of an idea. He reached into his satchel to check if his packed lunch was still there. It was. Then he looked over into the lagoon below at the 3 gigantic alligators splashing about. His idea was a dangerous one, and it would involve a bit of sacrifice, but it might just work. That is the end of chapter 18.